Thinking about what they have done in Kenya, the initial thing incentivized women to drop out of marriages. But now that there is no protection for a woman anymore, their head has now been rewired to want to stay in marriages more often. How do you think that influences the behavior of the men? Do you actually see that as a fair legal arrangement? Or is there a need to be more creative around it?
To be honest, I would argue that wouldn't be the best solution to the problem, because I feel like the reason why we ended up in this situation is for sure, like over the years or like in the past, right? Like women have suffered a lot of things that they were not really protected or like at least supported when they needed that. But now it's not fair anymore, at least from how I see it, right? So in Kenya, I believe definitely, there might be a need for some sort of action that is different, not just absolute in this way. Because definitely, I have to also say that I'm not against like prenup, what's it called now? What's this money, that alimony and stuff like that, right? Like, when it's deserved, you should get it, but it's not like set on stones.
But how do you define deserved?
Okay, for me, I would say from the moment we met and how we have sort of strategized to make things work for us. If you really break it down, even in the court of law, you can already directly see a correlation. Like, let me give you an example. Okay, I'm a single guy. I just finished school, like my bachelor's or whatever. I'm trying to get on my feet. Then she's also just finishing bachelor's. We are just trying to navigate the whole corporate world and stuff. Then she got a job before me. She started paying for stuff. Then I got a better job, or at least I got also a job. We sort of navigate things in a supportive direction like that. In all these bits, you can already see what she sacrificed. In Tyree's case, for example, now let's go back to that. This guy was made. This guy was doing fine.
That's why the payment is not alimony.
So that's like the child support, right? But even with the child support, then how much does the 1-year-old need to survive?
From my perspective, 100%. I think it would be very difficult to define who deserves what or not. So I'm not against the idea of, if you get married to someone, you are at the risk of needing to take care of them if you make more, to make sure that when you separate, their lifestyle is not taking a complete nosedive. Which means the richer person still supports so that it's not a complete deep dive, so that now she's no longer married and she can't walk anymore because there are no shoes for her to wear. Exactly. The calculation of what is reasonable child support, I think it's tying it simply to how much the richest person earns makes no sense, because it incentivizes people to retire on someone else. Like, I cheat, I divorce, and I'm retiring. Of course, there are different laws in different countries and different states, in, like, for example, even within the countries. But imagine I'm a woman, I cheat on my husband, and somehow I'm still requesting for a divorce even after cheating on my husband because I like the guy that I'm cheating with. And I still go for child support. And they just simply look at how much my husband earns and decides that that's how much I have to pay in child support. I think it's not a reasonable way to do it. I believe that they should be able to find a different way to calculate what is a reasonable child support. For example, how much is a school close by to you? How much is the average cost of education, near your neighborhood? Plus, on top of that, what's the average cost of groceries for a child? What's this and that? So it shouldn't matter if I make 10 billion or if I make 100K. The only scenario where it matters is if I really can't afford it, we have to then cut it according to the size that the person can afford, because you won't force people to go into debt or steal, because they would have figured it out anyways if the divorce did not happen. But for people that have money, you can then use the average. Maybe you don't use the minimum requirement. You can use the average within the neighborhoods that they live or within. But to just abstractly ask for unreasonable amount of money, I think that's where the problem is from my perspective. Because as you mentioned, you're also not against alimony, which means that in a divorce, You mentioned prenup a little bit as well. The idea of a prenup is just, let's set up mechanisms that are reasonable, mechanisms that are fair for each of us, for the both of us now, such that when there's a divorce, it's not a zero-sum game all out. I need 50% of all the wealth he's making. I think that's absolutely stupid.
Yeah.
That's
why I say it's sort of like a punishment, like system, because there's no other explanation to it. It's like, it feels like you're punishing me for getting into a marriage, right? We shouldn't be. And to also add to your point, I feel like most men are not necessarily cruel. We should also understand that you decided at one point in your life to be with this woman, and for whatever reason it didn't work out, right? I would assume that a good human citizen man would not want to see someone he has shared life and everything with to suffer. So if that is the case, then it's a question of the person you are with, not the gender situation. Because I feel like it's just like this whole absolute reaction in making these decisions. It's like, oh, men always have to feel the loss.
I think in most cases men feel the loss.
Yeah.
But it's also because in most cases men are the richer ones in the relationships. So if you happen to be a man that is with a woman that is richer than you, you get the benefit in that instance. The one thing that is just different is that men do not fight for the absolute benefit
exactly
in the way women do. And I've spoken to a lot of women. I would love to still hear their perspective that when things go to shit in a marriage, women tend to be vengeful. They tend to hold much more resentment than men. So even when a man is not feeling good about it, they would be like, all right, let's just get it done. Let's move on.
Exactly.
The woman, on the other hand, everything must burn.
Yeah.
I don't want to generalize, but I think deep down, women, when you think about it inside of you, I'm pretty sure you know what I'm saying. Like there is that split moment of, we are splitting, I will fuck this guy up.
And God forbid you were not the reason why things are ending. Like, for example, you cheated or something, then you are done for. You are really.
Oh my goodness! If you are the one that led to, if you are the if you're the one that led to the cause of a divorce, you're fucked as a man.
Yeah.
And if a woman would cheat on a man, and the man would still be like, yeah, take the house, it's fine, I don't care, I'll move forward.
Yeah.
Right. and I think maybe that's the point that you were trying to make when you said that you don't see any reasonable man not still being careful about how he treats that person that he chose to spend the rest of his life with initially.
Yeah.
So usually we have that little bit of, there's fairness required in the dealing even when the split is happening.
Exactly.
A woman, they just want it to be a zero-sum game. I will win every single shit.
Yeah. It's almost like, I'm coming for you. You should be ready.
I'll take his money and destroy his life as well. Yeah. But anyways, generally, knowing what is out there, what would you say to people that are looking to get married? What are the things that they should have in place? How should they think about it? How should they select who they marry? And how should they deal within a marriage? From your perspective.
From the way I see things, right, I feel like the number one thing that I would tell anyone that wants to get into a marriage institution is to vet a woman you want to potentially spend the rest of your life with. It's not about the love, it's not about the how I'm feeling, it's not about the values that we share and stuff. What I want to see is this person really on my side, on my team, even on a worst day? And it's similar to what we said, that most men still want everything to be fine with the person that they are now ending things with, even though it didn't go according to plan. So,
but how will you see that before?
You can't really tell.
How will you be able to see who is on your side?
Yeah, you can't really tell. But I think I'm a very good judge of that. At least I'm quite confident in that. You might not be the one that have loved me or that has loved me the most or have been quite like what I needed. But I think I can tell by dealing with someone long enough to be able to see when the intentions are not genuine. I think how I measure that, if you ask me, that okay, you did ask, would be I feel like you can sort of tell. The only time I feel like I can't be sure about that is if I'm the one who messed things up. Let's say I cheated, she caught me and everything, then she has the right to be vengeful. But I feel like if it's just some other irreconcilable differences, I believe, yeah, that I should be able to see that. No.
Tyrese couldn't see it.